I can't believe we're about to complete another combiner. Hello everyone, welcome back to Outside the Box. Oops, all combiner edition. Switching things back over to another big bad toy store box to now give us the last two aerial bots. Alright, here we have Studio Series Age of the Primes aerial bot Fireflight. I thought it was gonna be Firelight. That would have not made much sense. Fireflight, cool. And aerial bot Skydive. Skydive, I recognize that name. Not so much Fireflight. Let's go ahead, take a look at this one first. Yeah. This is the red jet. Oh, which is fitting. Fire, right? Yeah, I get it. Look at that gorgeous package. Nice window here. Decent enough artwork there. Awesome stuff. And some renders here on the back of both bot and jet mode. Do you know what I'm gonna complain about here? Do you know what I'm gonna complain about? I'll talk about that in a little second. It's a minor thing, and yes, we will fix it in the repaint, but it's always unfortunate when it happens in these figures. Whoop! Yeah, they really kind of have to like halfway transform them to get them into these packages, huh? That is not an issue whatsoever. I'm already seeing some repetitions in the transformation, which was not unexpected. As of this recording, I literally just got through filming our first two, well, the second and the third aerial bots, and some things are looking very much the same here. Okay, put you down here. I think my worry, if it's just a complete repaint of the same mold, I'm not entirely sure. Oh, are the weapons the same as well? The weapons are exactly the same as on a previous aerial bot. How do I feel about that? It's fine. But now I really have to do some comparisons real quick here. Oh, okay, the legs are exactly the same. The feet are the same. Is the wing bit the same in the back? That is the same wing, dude. Okay. The main wings are different. Okay. Oh, and the top bit of the jet is different molding. And of course, the main nose cone cockpit section. Okay, I'm guessing the arms are the same though. Yeah, and the actual chest is different. Okay, I'm gonna show you all this. I just have to take it in myself. I don't even have to look at the instruction now. I know what to do. I know how to get them into bot mode here. Separation, there we go. All right, let me very quickly look up once again what this guy looks like in the cartoon and in the toy. Yeah, okay. All right, so we missed out on some proper detailing for Fireflight then. On the shin section, I'm not gonna retransform Slingshot, but I'm just gonna show you real quick. This lower leg shin section, Fireflight shares it with Slingshot that has not been remolded. And this detailing that we have on Fireflight, he doesn't really have that in the cartoon. It's a little bit different. So they didn't even bother to remold that. It's unfortunate, it sucks. Thankfully though, the most pivotal sections, like on the chest and obviously the head, that has been remolded. I think we can all agree that that's the most important part to really differentiate this bot apart from Slingshot, which yeah, this guy's gonna be the other arm. So I don't think this is as egregious as it is for my current project, Stunticon Breakdown. Let me grab him here. This dude in the robot mode also has some of the same molding as the other Stunticon, I forget its name, but where it does matter the most, the chest and the head is a new remold. The car on this guy, as we all know, is what really suffers quite a bit. Oddly enough, they did some remolding on the back of the vehicle, but not the front. Obviously, I'll talk about more on that on the actual custom project. I have a fix. Thank you to some very talented designers out there, including the Lazy Eyebrow. And, oh, what's his other name? I should mention him. Sam's Forge. If you are familiar with Sam's Forge and the Lazy Eyebrow, you know what they've done to almost get Breakdown to look perfect. So yeah, we'll definitely be utilizing that. Now this guy, again, doesn't suffer as much as Breakdown. We have a new chest, we have a new head, and also enough from what I can see right now before even transforming him, enough of the jet mode is obviously different from Slingshot to give us a different kind of jet mode, which I think is much more important on these guys. I mean, as important as it is on the Stunticon as well, you know? Okay, so it's not the end of the world, but it still just sucks when we get a remold and they kind of half-ass it. There's no other way to really describe it, right? But they thankfully did enough where it's not a disaster. It's not a disaster. Slingshot really did surprise me as far as how good of a jet mode he was. We're gonna get to that soon enough here with Fireflight, but just to take a look at the bot mode here for a bit. I mean, it's very similar to what I've already said about Slingshot. Proportions on this dude are immaculate. Maybe now that, you know, I've been messing around with Slingshot and now this guy just for a little bit, maybe in the arm department, especially the forearm, a little bit dwindly. Doesn't look bad at all though. Now on this guy, since it is going to be a red jet, these forearms are in a red plastic. So then the front is painted white and you can definitely tell quite a bit. That white has just a little bit of an extra gloss to it, and being able to see then the red, you know, underneath the forearm kind of breaks up the look of the bot mode just a little bit too. I'm not even going to look it up again from the cartoon. I'm guessing it's not there. And yeah, it's going to be the exact same transformation from what I can see too. This head sculpt, thankfully he doesn't have the orange face and dome, but it's very similar where he has just these white panels on the sides of his head. And that again speaks to the very simplistic nature of the original G1 toy, which they then translated to the cartoon, and now we have here. Doesn't look bad, that's just the design, right? I always do like a bot with a good visor, and that's what Slingshot has. Again, all orange does kind of ruin that look a little bit. This guy has, once again, a silver top section and a glossy gray for the face, and then the nice sky blue for the eyes. That is, in my opinion, leaning more towards a cartoon accuracy, whereas I bet if they were trying to shoot for that, they would probably have given us maybe all silver for the top section and for the face, and I bet that wouldn't have looked bad, which might end up being the way that I end up doing my repaint. That'll be something to think about. Once again, we don't have an Autobot logo in the front of the chest. He probably has it on the shoulder as well, which I didn't talk about this last time, but where it ends up on the jet mode, it's probably going to be in a spot where I can still have the Autobot logo on there. I think it ends up like towards the bottom of the jet, or maybe even the side. It wasn't too egregious where I would probably be okay having a little Autobot symbol sticking out on there. So I think we're going to be good. The front chest is white plastic. So we have red paint here on the sides, some highlights here in the front with some nice sky blues there in the middle too. And that looks really good. I like that. That is not bad at all. And for the crotch piece itself is red with some of that same sky powdery blue here, accents there on top as well. Same black plastic here for the upper thighs. You know, I'm guessing that's that softer kind of plastic. It's probably molded. Yeah, it's molded in the same as the weapon and in the feet. So it came from that sprue. That's probably where they had the only room left to put that piece, and now they end up being black. Again, not the end of the world. Breaks up the look of the white and the red for this guy, which we will, of course, eventually fix on the repaint someday. Some year. Now, one thing I didn't mention for Slingshot, though, because of the transformation, other than the same hollowy bits that we get on the lower knee section, he does have quite a bit of a kibble heel here on the back. It helps for him to stand. This dude is not really gonna knock over anytime soon, but that heel extends just so far back. You can see it if I move this wing over here. Look at how much heel he has, but that's because that's the entirety of the back wing section that just folds up. Now, what helps it to kind of justify it is the fact that this wing folds back here as well, so it's not really extending that far back beyond the wing, which then makes it not terrible, right? It's not bad. It's not bad, but it is there. Yeah, and yeah, the weapons are exactly the same. I thought they were very nicely molded weapons. Not a lot of detailing going on, but the double barrel is impressive. I do like that. Good stuff. All right, well, not much more to say on this guy. Let's get him into his jet mode. At least that will be a little bit different, and a different color jet too. Do I even need the instructions? I do not. I'm gonna show you this epic transformation here. I'm gonna rotate that. Oh, that's tight. Rotate that head around. Pop out the little front landing gear, rotate the forearms 180, hinge up the shoulders, and then start folding back at the elbows. It's got a very nice double bend at the elbow, which helps the robot mode. I didn't speak on that, but it definitely helps with the articulation for that. Same thing on the other side. Start tilting it up, And then we're gonna mush them in to the sides, right in there. Get them nice and tight in there. We can get the nose cone section, fold this out, fold this up, and it should click right into these little rectangular peg sections. Squeeze that right in there, good stuff there. And for the legs, we can go ahead and combine them. Fold out the front shin section, accordion the knees to bring up the legs into the body, fold back the shins onto the legs, get that nice and tight on there. Fold back the feet, fold down the rear tail, fold up the rear wing, and finally fold the wings down properly. There we go. And then we get the weapons pegged right under the wings. Just like that. And there you go. We have here a very excellent jet mode. I think this jet mode is gonna suffer just a tad due to being a remold of Slingshot. The cockpit section has like a unifying bit of an arch over the entire body of the jet. Nice little nose cone here in the front with the same glossy black paint that we have on Slingshot. Good stuff there. Mostly red plastic. Nice, what is that, a dark gray? Yeah, like a nice flat dark gray stripe coming along the middle and being used for the frame section of the cockpit. Very nice silver there for the windows. Awesome stuff. I like the white wings with the powdery blue striping there and also yellow as well. A little bit hard to make it out. Excellent Autobot symbol on there. Now, what I've always mentioned before, these hinges that are two different colors are very noticeably, just by looking at this, a hinge here, because there's like a break in the line there, right? It looks like, if you look at the actual modeling for the wing itself, part of this top and bottom section that is red should really be white to represent the entirety of the wing. And that would, I think, unify the entire look just a bit more. And of course, that will be something that we'll be fixing for the repaint as well. But yeah, stuff like that, it does kind of bother me because, I don't know, it just kind of breaks up the unity of the wing itself there. Just a tad, just a tad. I'm sure there's folks that don't even really maybe notice that. That's okay too. I think the bit that stands out the most though, on Slingshot, this nose cone is quite a bit taller, or the bottom bit goes lower than it does on Fireflight. On Fireflight, it's a bit more narrow. So once you start to see the head of the robot mode here, it's quite a bit more noticeable on this guy than it is on Slingshot. He still has a very nice little landing wheel that pops out the back. Obviously, because this leg section hasn't been remolded, it's the same faux wheel here in the back as well. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, he's sits on a table perfectly fine. They're not actual wheels, so he's not gonna roll. I'm noticing something here, This is something that we see mostly on third-party aftermarket types of Transformers where they can't legally give us the Autobots Decepticon emblem, so we get this little kind of outline design of where the emblem would go, and we have that here. What's going on, Hasbro? What's going on? Could you not afford an extra tampograph? Let's see if he has it there in the cartoon model or in the toy. I don't see it in the cartoon, so doesn't seem to be the case there. I don't think I see it in the toy either. That's weird. Could that just be an independent kind of design that's not really meant to be an Autobot emblem there? There's no reason why they wouldn't put one. I'm very tempted to put one now. Also, since it would be right side up for bot mode as well, although I think it might be covered up with a nose cone after transformation. I don't know. Interesting. And I do like the bit of color that's added on the rear wing here as well. The blue, the yellow, the silver. Now the blue sits right on top of the red, so it's very dark. It doesn't look anywhere near like the same blue that's added on the side wings here. So, I don't know. It's got color though, so that's good. Okay, so a few shortcomings. Not the same impressiveness as Slingshot, but still a fantastic figure. Good bot, good jet. Bit of a hinge miscoloration there. That's fine. I think that's mostly a me problem, right? Yeah, but it doesn't really bother me so much because that's something that we'll end up fixing as well. Okay, are we doing good so far? I'd say we are. Let's take a look at the last one here. We have Aerialbot Skydive. I don't know, the Skydive is such a cool name though. It's definitely the one that I kind of remember from the Aerialbots back in the day. Kind of sad to say though. Once again, an orange face, but thankfully not an orange chrome dome. Up on top, he's got a proper helmet. Some nice blacks on him, some nice reds. Decent enough artwork here on the side. It's not terrible. and bot and jet renders here on the back. Oh wait, what the hell's going on here, huh? What? Oh, you're making me tap the sign. And you know what? Ironically enough, on this render artwork here in the front, it's much more egregious, that hinge problem. Ugh. Why did they make it look worse? That was probably going to be a previous color job that they ended up changing on the actual figure. So yeah, you can see how there's quite a bit more different colors on that hinge, but then looks like on the figure, well, on this render anyways, not so much, although it's still kind of broken up. Let's see what the actual figure looks like. Get over there. Okay, can't see the back of the wings. Oh God, almost passed out. I'm definitely making it out to be a bigger problem than what it is. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Right off the bat, yeah, first change, he only has one rear wing, and he has just one peg here in the back that's centrally aligned. We'll add that one wing there. Wings that hinge back, thankfully. All right, I do want to do some initial comparisons here. Huh. Okay, similar chest, similar shins, similar legs. Well, not similar, exactly the same. Chest, I say similar because it does have a slight redesign. Obviously, the head's going to be different. Okay, just to show you here what I'm talking about, just a halfway transformed air raid here. This section, what we're looking at here, exactly the same. On Slingshot, the arms, the same. Notice a difference on the chest. It's the same chest, but now on Slingshot, he's got this part filled in and a very nice Autobot symbol there. I appreciate that. I'm guessing that's how he looks in the cartoon. Good stuff there. And yeah, basically an entire different jet design for Slingshot. Okay, cool. All right, so the stuff that they use the same, I guess is not as egregious, but it doesn't 100% now match with what we see in the G1 cartoon, right? So it is a little bit unfortunate. But again, looking at breakdown, it could have been worse, but it still sucks. It still sucks. Oh, also the weapons are different. Very good. This is what we get for Slingshot here. Yeah, a little bit of hollowness on each side. But even with that hollowness, they look stylistic, you know? And overall, once again, very nice looking bot mode here. Extremely glossy paint on the same center section of the chest there, which I think is the only paint that we really have, other than the nose cone and the cockpit section of the jet. Looks fantastic there. Really stands out. Nicely designed face too. Kind of like how his eyes are just a little bit more squintier. And the helmet itself, a little bit simplistic, but I'm sure, again, that's how he was in the cartoon there. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I really do like the Autobot emblem right there in the front. That is good. I like the color combo of this guy. A lot of them do have like the red chest, but this guy with the blacks and the grays mixed throughout, it's a nice combination. Very nice. It's just a little bit odd though with that tiny bit of orange for the face, huh? I mean, again, if you can't tell, I don't really care for it that much on Slingshot. Doesn't look as bad on this guy though. Not too bad. And a bit of more color here on the back with the yellow for the wings and the blue for the rear wing that we'll see much better in the jet mode. But this is good. Still a bit of deja vu, right, as far as what we got before. And because of that, I'm sure some things just aren't going to be a true match to how they are in the G1 cartoon, but this is what we're getting right now, and I'm happy with it. I'm definitely happy with it. Of course, what's going to be the most different will be the jet mode. Let's take a look at that. Once again, no instructions necessary. I will show you what we're doing here. Gonna rotate the head to start, and this time I won't forget to fold in the fist. Once again, we have a hinge crime here. Black fists, leftover piece of plastic in here, not matching up with the gray forearm. Get that nicely folded in. Same thing with the other side. Boop. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and fold out the cockpit. No, not that section. I think it's gotta be the whole thing here at the base. There it is. And folds over the head. There we go. Fold out the shin sections. Connect the legs and get those folded up onto the rear of the jet body. Right, just like so. We folded the feet up into the body. Should click into place. There it is. Okay. And the rear side wings, fold them down. Geez, nothing but crimes, huh? Nothing but crimes. Okay. And rotate the rear wing. We got to plug in the arms into the sides of the body, and then the wings sit on top of that little rectangular peg. Cool, cool. And then the weapons under the wings. Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Again, as far as the robot bits are concerned, very, very identical to what we've seen before, but the jet itself, there's enough difference now as far as the styling, the type of jet that it actually is, and the color, that we get something new out of it. I do really like this lightning bolt kind of a design for the wings here. Very strong Autobot symbol there. The blue wing in the back does kind of stick out color-wise, but it's nothing egregious. Having that same lightning bolt or different lightning bolt design onto it does kind of tie everything together a bit. I like the regular light gray for the body. It's, you know, something you would see on an actual jet. And yeah, the glossiness for the nose cone, for the cockpit. We have bits of the gray just poking through there to break that up. Awesome stuff, but again, I'm gonna say it one last time here. The different colors poking through here on the hinges, it breaks up the smoothness of what would be just the overall body of the jet, right? But if I am speaking honestly though, on the hinge sections, you're never really gonna see Hasbro apply paint onto them because they're much more prone to rub up against other sections that they could potentially scratch off, which is gonna be something that we'll have to watch out for. You could try to fix that with a little bit of sanding into these intersections where the plastic would potentially rub onto. There's ways to avoid that, but because of that, that's never gonna be a fix out of the box, unfortunately. Unless of course it's just, you know, the same color throughout, then it'll be nothing that you'll have to worry about, right? But sadly, this guy has different color wings. And you know what? Overall, it's fine. Totally fine. I will shut up about it now. You know, I didn't mention this for the last video, I do like how we have a little bit of the thrusters molded in here onto the back, even though it's not an actual full-on thruster. Just having that design of the exhaust, I like that. I like that very much. And I don't know what kind of a jet this is. Similar to an F-15. It's got some similarities to it, but it's nice. It's nice. I do like it quite a bit. Oh, we missed one part though. The same landing gear that pops out of the chest here. We can flip that out. We have the same little full wheel here on the back of the feet. Yes, sits fine. Perfect. Perfect stuff. Perfect stuff. Again, not a lot more than I can add to the conversation here. Pretty similar to what we got before. Thankfully, enough was changed for the jet where just by looking at these two, you know, side by side, you're not going to get the impression that there's similarities. They're pretty clear as far as being different type of jets, and the different colors help as well. So it's good stuff. I mean, it's, I think, as best as we could have gotten for these guys, right? All right, well, I guess that's it, right? Yeah, okay, all right. Oh, a little bit dusty. It's just been chilling out here on my hobby table since I got this guy, ready in anticipation of the day, today, where we would get the rest of the aerial bots. I don't think I need to see the instructions as far as how to put them together. I don't think so. Do I even have them? Okay, I have them here. Okay, yeah, so it's just some movement of the wings mostly is what we're gonna need. It doesn't even really tell you, oh yeah, it doesn't really tell you for each individual limb. I think it's literally just telling you about one arm and then one leg, and it's probably just like repeat that for the other one. Yeah, I'm only seeing one arm and one leg. That's totally cool. Yeah, just gonna plug in right into the arm section. There's like, I think 8 different pegs plugging in at once. This is gonna be very scary on a repaint. Can you imagine? Once it's fully repainted and you're just squeezing the hell out of this thing together. And then we have separation. Oh, the wings kind of fold out. Okay, I dig that. And this top rear wing is gonna fold down, I guess. Although you could definitely have it folded up or even folded back. No. Okay, no, yeah, the wing on the back looks like it stays upright. And I do think that looks better too. Cool, cool. Oh, that's just a lot of pegs going in. Not crazy about that. Okay, looking pretty awesome. Now for the legs, rear wings get folded back down, which, you know what? That's not a bad look. That looks so much more aggressive. This actually almost reminds me of animated Starscream. He had the wings kind of pointed forward like their claws about to get you. Love that design. Anywho, that looks cool. That looks cool. And now we utilize that extra hinge. There we go, to clip that like so. Yeah, it might be better if I separate this for right now. Again, some very snug pegs going in that I would not be looking forward to after fully repainting this. Oh, that is going to be tough coming out too. That kind of completes this look over here, which I'll talk about this in a second here. This one, same thing. Plug these back in. Dude is definitely quite a bit heavier than before. You know what? It's never going to not be impressive to put together a combiner and just seeing them all together for the first time. This looks pretty freaking awesome. We've seen the whole skeletal system at work before with the Stunticons, and now we have it executed very well here with jets for the aerial bots. Whether or not you love it or hate it, I think what you end up getting is a much more able combined figure that can stand on its own, have some pretty freaking awesome looking proportions, and kind of minimize all of the drawbacks of like previous combiners where the jets would be the entirety of like the arm or the legs, right? This dude looks freaking awesome. I will say though, because of that skeletal system, what I notice here, I think a bit more than on our Menasor, which Menasor might be prone to this as well, there is a thickness to the arms because of that, right? We have the jet sitting on the skeletal system. I almost wonder if it would ever be possible to have a skeletal system that's not quite as thick. It has to be strong enough to hold this extra piece and have the arm still lift up. The ratcheted shoulder joints help with that. So I don't know if it would be possible, right? If you make it thinner, it's not gonna be as strong. So I get that. Just a little bit of extra thickness that we have there on the arms. Now it's much more of an issue, I would say, on the legs. There is a lot going on here behind the legs than we're gonna have on our eventual Menasor. We've seen the whole thing together. I guess because of a shape of a car is a bit more flat than on a jet. You have like the wings sticking out and whatnot. And yeah, they're certainly folded out, and the way that the cockpit's kind of accordion onto them just kind of makes them a bit bulky, and it doesn't truly sit inside of this leg piece. It just kind of wedges here in the back, and then it folds these two doors to give us like a fake impression of what the jet mode looks like. It has like those panel lines and designs to correspond with what would be like the chest of the individual aerial bot. I'm not crazy about that system. I guess maybe they made it that way so something's happening as you're plugging it in there, and so it wouldn't look as complete without having it there. Because if they just have this molded here as one piece and you're just kind of plugging that on the back, it would feel like that much more of a cheat, I think. So they devised this whole mechanism where now plugging it in, hey, it's completing the look. You did it, congrats. I don't like how it's lacking color on here though, but I think it's, again, trying to just recreate the look of the G1 cartoon more than anything. I would even probably go so far on a repaint, maybe even like getting rid of whatever spring mechanism is in these legs, and maybe just gluing these together. I don't think it's going to affect any of the other transformations when it's like the extra bit behind Silverbolt. I would get rid of it and then add some extra painted details onto that to properly show what the bot that's behind there looks like. It's not going to be symmetrical, but on a combiner, it really shouldn't be, right? You've got different colored jets for the arms and the legs. I want to show that difference in color on the combine mode. That's not an issue, of course, with Devastator because they're all greens and purples, which adds to the unity. But somebody like on Menasor, it's cool to have that off-color look. I like Voltron. Voltron's awesome. Having those different colors represented on the combiner would actually bring the look home, you know? So that's just what I'm thinking about, what I would possibly do for that. But yeah, I think the weakest part is just gonna be back here. But as far as pretty much everything else, the guy's fantastic. I wasn't too crazy about the look of this weapon. It's kind of like a rifle, or maybe even like a sniper rifle. I don't know, it's super long, super thin. But at the very least, compared to Devastator, it definitely plugs in there nice and secure. It's not just the peg, and you can't see it here. Let me turn them this way. It's not just the peg that goes into the fist, but there's an extra peg that goes onto the forearm to really give you a rock solid connection there. Probably could have used something similar for Devastator as well. I'm surprised how loose his weapon is actually. It's something that we'll definitely have to fix with some Kiki's joint solution. Shouldn't be too big of a problem, but on this guy, it's at least solid. Another thing that does kind of actually break it up too, Looks like part of it was molded in that light gray plastic that we see on Silverbolt, and so it's painted that super high gloss black, whereas other sections of it, like this front section here, is just black plastic, and so it's not as glossy as the rest of it. So it's kind of a break in the look there. Of course, a full paint job would fix that as well. Now, as I mentioned before, I do have the DNA design kit on pre-order, so we'll be utilizing that. It does quite a bit to change the look of Superion, and the most major thing I think is like the front of the shins. Like I mentioned before, it completely changes that look. So I don't know if I'm going to utilize that or just work on maybe painting this. I think I would rather just paint this to make it look a little bit better, a little bit more appealing to me anyways. But it's going to be good to have those options. One of the things I was a little bit worried when I originally got that DNA kit for Menasor, because it adds an extension for the thighs, makes them taller. I didn't know if it was going to be something that would look off height-wise to the other combiners, but thankfully DNA has thought of that as well, and it's adding height extensions for pretty much all of them, so they're going to be pretty much on equal level. Hopefully Devastator will end up being quite a bit taller. Let me bring them out actually, since I still got them. Okay, don't know how difficult it is to tell. Now, Devastator is sitting on my cutting mat, so there's like a tiny little bit, maybe like a centimeter of extra height. In fact, let me go ahead and remove it to give them that equal footing. And I don't know if you can see, Devastator is pretty much a head taller than Superion. And I think that's actually fitting. I think having Devastator be a little bit taller of a combiner is fitting. He is the combiner, right? So I'm not mad about that. Now, hopefully once we have all of the DNA kits said and done, he'll still be a little bit taller. I don't know what the end height ends up being. The numbers are probably out there, but I like where it's at right now. Some good stuff, good stuff. I'm not about to combine my Stunticons. They are a work in progress right now, so we'll get to them when we get to them. But hopefully, you know, it'll look pretty impressive with the full coat of paint on there. Overall, I'm definitely happy with what we have. The dude's impressive, and it's a damn good Superion that we've gotten in quite a while. To think when they would ever offer us an update on the aerial bots, it's going to be a long time coming. I don't know what improvements they could possibly make without utilizing a skeletal system like this. I'm happy with what we have here though. This is just fantastic. But again, I don't own the Combiner Wars version. Maybe you have that. Maybe you could prefer that. And that's totally fine too. It's always good to have options. Wow. Yeah. Oof. Man. Fantastic stuff. Who's ready for Bruticus? I don't think I have any other Combaticons yet other than the Choppa. So they're going to be a ways coming. But man, I can't wait to just have a table full of combiners. Why not? Bring them on. Bring them all on. I'll find the room for them. I can get rid of my bed. I can sleep on the floor. Yeah, that's fine. But that's another combiner in the books here. Hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I had a good time putting him together. I really did. I really did. As for what's coming up next for the unboxings, I don't know. Still have quite a few things to get through on our big boxes of Big Bad Toy Store. So hope you look forward to that. As always, thank you so much for watching. Much appreciated. If you'd like to support the channel, well, you've already done so. So thanks for that. Now, if you'd like to keep supporting, you can hit that like, subscribe, leave a nice comment. That's always appreciated. And even become a channel member for some awesome emotes here. You can also check out the merch store for some fantastic stuff over there. And if you'd really like to support, hit up patreon.com/Hobbies with Jose and check out all the tiers available to you. Plenty of behind the scenes photos and videos of my latest unboxings. And of course of all the projects that I'm working on, or the current project. I don't do multiple projects. That would be crazy, but it's all there. Plus you can even help me decide on what I work on next. The choice is truly yours. But until I see you on the next one, don't forget to keep on customizing and have fun doing it. I'll catch you on the next one, folks. Take care.